never tried to go for this big of a season. We've never gone through this much ground that we're supposed to go through this year. So Parker just really wants seamless sluicing through and through.
Hurry up! You've had 5 days to get this done.
This is the season that changes everything. With gold prices at an all-time high, the pressure is on. Parker Schnabel is aiming for a goal that seems impossible, while Tony Beets is just trying to hold his family and his business together.
Morning, Egan.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Are you ready to go to work?
Sure.
But the real story? Parker's secret move could secure his future and destroy the Beets empire. The crushing weight of a 10,000-ounce dream. The Klondike air is electric with possibility. For Parker Schnabel, this season isn't just another mining operation, it's a monumental gamble.
We have spent so much money in the last year, so I don't know what to say. But gold price is up, so that's good.
He's standing on his 7,500-acre Dominion Creek claim, a piece of land that coughed up a mind-blowing 4,500-ounce bonanza last year. Now he's banking on that golden pay streak continuing north into his only stripped ground, the long cut. The target is a number that sounds more like a fantasy than a goal. 10,000 ounces of gold worth over $25 million at today's sky-high prices. To even have a prayer of hitting this number, the math is brutal.
We've never tried to go for this big of a season. We've never gone through this much ground that we're supposed to go through this year. So Parker just really wants seamless sluicing through and through.
Parker's crew needs to sluice at least 430 ounces every single week for the next 6 months. It's a Herculean task, a pace they've never attempted before. The pressure is immense, a heavy weight on the shoulders of every crew member. As one of them put it, they're in a situation with a ton of work and unrealistic expectations from a boss who loves to have unrealistic expectations. Truth be told, everyone is feeling the heat. The plan starts with Big Red, Parker's trusty wash plant.
At that.
Woohoo! Let's go! Fire it up! It's coming together. See if the thing works.
The crew moves it into place piece by agonizing piece to rewash old gravel piles left behind by the claim's previous owner. Parker believes there's still gold hiding in those mounds, a quick and easy way to get the season started. After all the money they spent last year, they need a win. With the plant assembled and the feeder in place, the first bucket of pay dirt for the season tips into the hopper. The mood is tense but hopeful. This first cleanup needs to set the tone for the entire year. After a 34-hour run, it's time for the moment of truth. Foreman Chris Dumit does the weigh-in. The crew crowds around waiting for a number that will justify their hard work. The gold is weighed, the calculator punches in the numbers, and the result lands like a punch to the gut. 5.6 ounces, worth a measly $14,000. It's a catastrophe. Parker can't hide his disappointment. He sarcastically congratulates his crew on breaking a new record, the worst cleanup they have ever had.
Broke another record, you guys.
Worst cleanup ever.
Worst cleanup ever.
Nailed it.
The laughter is hollow. All that time and effort spent setting up Big Red was a complete waste. They now have 9,994.4 ounces left to go. The season has started not with a bang, but with a whimper, and Parker knows they are already dangerously behind schedule. How can they possibly recover from a start this disastrous? While Parker is reeling from his epic failure, the king of the Klondike, Tony Beets, is on a mission of his own.
Let's get it started. You know what I mean? Let's get the thing on the road. No company can run and not make money for a couple of years. Last year was kind of a dud.
Last season was pure chaos for the Beets family, a disorganized mess that left them a disastrous 3,000 ounces short of their goal and $6 to $7 million in the hole. The family was fractured, the business was bleeding money, and Tony knew something had to change. This year, there is no room for error. The goal is 5,000 ounces, and he's planning an all-out blitz on his Indian River claim, a reliable piece of ground known for delivering consistent gold. Tony, a man who arrived in the Yukon over 40 years ago with just $300 in his pocket, is fighting to save the empire he built from scratch. But his family, the cornerstone of that empire, is not whole. His son Kevin has left to start his own mine, a move Tony seems to support, at least on the surface. With Mike and Monica running Paradise Hill, Tony is focused on getting a fast start at Indian River to build momentum. To do this, he's relying on an old miner's trick. Last fall, he deliberately flooded his 10-acre comeback cut with water. Over the long, brutal winter, that water froze into a 2-foot-thick blanket of ice. The theory is that this ice layer acted like insulation, protecting the precious pay dirt underneath from freezing solid. If it worked, he'll have thawed ground ready for sluicing weeks ahead of anyone else.
This year I'm trying to sluice a little bit more. We got sluice a lot here. We got a screen deck there. It's done very well. Came out nice. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have some gold around here. I get the money. What more do you want?
If it failed, the entire cut will be a block of ice, putting him weeks behind and starting his comeback season with another disaster. The crew gathers as Tony uses a massive dozer to break up the surface ice. He needs to get a ripper shank down deep to see if the ground below is soft. He rips into the earth, and to his relief, the ground gives way. The gamble paid off. The pay dirt is thawed and ready to go. With his wash plants, the sluicifer and the shaker deck fired up and running, Tony has managed to get gold in the box in the very first week of the season.
I would like not to have another year like last year.
I mean, what we didn't get last year is still there, and sure as hell didn't spoil.
No, frozen assets.
Yeah, pretty much, Minnie.
I think we should maybe see what much is there.
Good. Buy it up. Pour in a young lady.
The entire Beets family, minus Kevin, gathers for the first weigh-in. The mood is cautiously optimistic. After running for a week, the gold is melted down and poured. The final weight is a staggering 312.6 ounces. At $2,500 an ounce, it's worth over $750,000. It is the biggest first cleanup the Beets have ever had, a powerful statement that the Viking is back in business. But even with a mountain of gold on the table, the absence of his eldest son hangs in the air, a sign of the deep cracks that still exist in the foundation of his family. Just a few miles away from Tony's triumphant cleanup, a very different story is unfolding. On the 44-acre Scribner Creek claim, leased from his own father, Kevin Beets is starting his own mining operation from zero. Alongside his partner, Faith, he has poured his entire life savings into this massive gamble. His goal is 1,000 ounces, and he plans to run his mine his way, free from the chaotic management of his father. However, starting from scratch means relying on used equipment, much of it borrowed from Tony. And as Kevin quickly discovers, borrowed from Tony comes with strings attached. One of his first challenges is a broken airline on a piece of machinery, a frustrating but manageable problem. But his biggest hurdle arrives on the back of a lowboy truck, a D10 dozer, a critical piece of equipment for ripping up the frozen muck. There's just one problem.
I know Tony didn't want to give me his best equipment, but I mean, a dozer without a ripper is like a truck without tires.
Without it, we're dead in the water.
The dozer is missing its 10-foot steel ripper shank. As Kevin says, a dozer without a ripper is like a truck without tires. Without it, they are completely dead in the water. This is where Tony's help seems more like a test, or perhaps even sabotage. Whether intentional or just a typical Beets oversight, the missing part leaves Kevin powerless. His plans to start ripping and stripping the 11-acre Lynx Cut are on indefinite hold. He can't move dirt, he can't get to the pay, and he can't start making money to repay his massive investment. But Kevin has a secret weapon. To help him get this new mine off the ground, he's hired a master dirt mover, Brennan Ruault. And here's the twist. Brennan is a former foreman for Parker Schnabel. He spent 6 long years working for Parker, and their time together ended explosively. Now he's back in the Klondike, bringing years of experience from the Schnabel crew to the newly formed Beets operation. Brennan knows the area like the back of his hand. In fact, their new claim is just on the other side of the trees from where he first started with Parker. The reunion is hopeful, but the immediate problem looms large. The missing Ripper shank is the first and most important piece of the puzzle. They need to find one, and they need to find one now.
We really need to get this Ripper shank. This is the first most important piece of any of this mining puzzle this year. I mean, without it, we're kind of dead in the water. And
Right now, it is the biggest priority.
With his own father providing a useless piece of equipment, Kevin is forced to look elsewhere for help, leading him to make a call that will send shockwaves through the Klondike. The unlikely Lifeline from a rival. With his operation stalled before it can even begin, Kevin Beets faces a critical decision. He can't go back to his dad, Tony, who is the source of the problem in the first place. So he and his new foreman, Brennan Ruault, get in their truck and head towards the one place Tony would never expect. Parker Schnabel's Dominion Creek claim. The tension during the drive is thick. Brennan admits he hasn't spoken to Parker in years, acknowledging they had their differences towards the end of his time there. Kevin has only ever seen Parker in passing, usually when he was at the Beets camp to talk to Tony, meaning Parker was rarely in a good mood. When they pull into Parker's yard, the meeting is surprisingly cordial. Parker greets Brennan like an old friend, and there's a genuine warmth in their handshake. When Kevin explains their predicament, that they have a dozer from Tony but no Ripper shank, Parker's entire demeanor changes. He asks a crucial question. Is Tony involved in this new venture in any way beyond lending some equipment? When Kevin confirms that this is his and Faith's operation and Tony is not involved, Parker's response is immediate and decisive. Good, Parker says, then I feel better about helping you.
But is Tony, like, involved in any way other than helping with some equipment and like that?
Beyond that, no.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel better about helping you, because I'm like, if this is just like Tony's thing, then Tony can deal with his. But congrats on doing this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
He makes it clear that if this was just another one of Tony's schemes, he wouldn't lift a finger. But for Kevin, who is striking out on his own, Parker is more than willing to help. He knows how hard it is when you're first starting out. He offers Kevin a Ripper shank, an $11,000 piece of steel on a tab. You don't need to pay for anything now, he tells him. You owe me a hug. This single act is a monumental power move. On one hand, it's a genuine moment of kindness from one miner to another. On the other, it's a strategic masterstroke. Parker Schnabel has just provided the lifeline that Tony Beets either couldn't or wouldn't give his own son. He has single-handedly solved Kevin's biggest problem, effectively shutting down Tony's ability to control his son's operation through the equipment he lends him. By helping Kevin succeed, Parker gains a potential ally and deals a subtle but significant blow to his longtime rival. As Kevin and Brennan leave with the Ripper shank, they are ecstatic. They have secured a huge win and can finally start mining. But this new alliance has just redrawn the battle lines in the Klondike in a way no one ever saw coming. While the drama in the Yukon goldfields unfolds, another legendary treasure hunt thousands of miles away on the East Coast is reaching a historic boiling point. On Oak Island, Nova Scotia, brothers Rick and Marty Lagina have been pouring millions of dollars and years of their lives into solving a 220-year-old mystery. And now, a new episode confirms a stunning breakthrough that could finally blow the lid off the entire enigma.
If you look at the statistics in England, apparently, in the last recent history, 90% of the historical artifacts that now sit in museums so the population can see them were found by treasure hunters.
Wow.
And that's an example of a good policy that works.
Not archaeologists, but treasure hunters.
Treasure hunters, yes, not archaeologists.
For years, the focus has been on the money pit and the garden shaft, but recent efforts have centered on a mysterious anomaly detected deep underground. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar, the team identified what they described as a large, dense, L-shaped structure buried deep within the swamp. The shape and composition didn't match any known geology of the island, suggesting it was man-made. Now, after weeks of careful excavation and drilling, they have finally reached it. More unknown details have emerged from diver reports and core samples that have sent shockwaves through the treasure hunting community. Geologists confirmed that wood samples brought up from the structure are not native to Nova Scotia, suggesting they were transported from afar. Even more incredible, carbon dating results place the construction of this hidden chamber to the mid-17th century. Well over 100 years before the original money pit discovery in 1795. This confirms the presence of a major pre-searcher era operation on the island. Local legends, often dismissed as folklore, speak of a hidden Mi'kmaq treasure vault or even a secret hideout built by Knights Templar fleeing persecution in Europe. And this discovery suddenly gives those tales a chilling new credibility. The latest dive, conducted in a newly sunk caisson, has yielded the most electrifying evidence yet.
Hey, we're in the hole. Drop it. Yeah, keep going.
Let me stick my face in it one more time.
Let's see if I can find that ladder.
A remote-operated vehicle equipped with high-definition cameras captured images of what appears to be smooth-dressed stone forming a perfect corner, unlike the rough natural rock of the island. More tantalizingly, the camera caught a glint of metal. Not just a stray coin, but what looked like the corner of a large, dark, rectangular object. The team believes they have finally found it. A hidden vault, a secret chamber, the ultimate prize that has eluded searchers for centuries. The structure is real, it's ancient, and it's finally within their grasp. The discovery isn't just a clue, it's the destination they've been searching for all along. The question is no longer if the Oak Island treasure is real, but what exactly lies inside this hidden structure that has finally been found. Parker's help got Kevin started, but it also lit a fire under the Yukon's biggest rivalry. So who do you think will come out on top this season? Like and subscribe.